Hey, what's up guys? Today we're gonna learn TypeScript. TypeScript is a programming language that developed by Microsoft. It's a type superset of JavaScript, means that it can extend and add feature to JavaScript while maintaining the compatibility and existing JavaScript code base. Let's dive in and have a look. Hey, here, I have init project here called TypeScript tutorial, and there are two dependencies. One is TypeScript, another one is Norman. So we're gonna use TypeScript to compile TS file to JS file. We can call npx tsc-watch. That basically gonna compile TS to JS. Then we're gonna listen to JS file with this command npm run Norman. Okay, whenever the JS file changed, it's gonna reload JS file to here. Okay, let's dive into TypeScript. Okay, then we're gonna start with some basic type in TypeScript. The first one we are gonna talk about is called Boolean type. Let's see the syntax. We're gonna declare a variable. It's called extend column. I'm gonna give it a type Boolean. Then we're gonna assign a value to this variable. Okay, next one is number. Is same thing. We're gonna give it a type number, string type. The next one is called symbol type. And symbol. So we're gonna use same as a key in the object. And we're gonna print out a string. Let's see if we can get a value from this object. And so object let's see. Yeah, it printed out the value Michael here. Next one we're gonna talk about is array type in TypeScript. There are two syntax. Let me show you. So first one is like we have a list. The value, the type in the list, the type in the array is a number with the bracket. Then we can assign a value in the array. Yeah, that's how we declare a list in a TypeScript. And there's another way too. Let's say list 2. We can declare that's a array, and inside array that's a number in there. Then we're gonna assign a value to this variable. Yeah, both ways are good to go with TypeScript. Okay, let's go for next one. Next one is enum type. Enum. Let's give an example. Enum, let's say direction, and the name in the enum is north, south, east, west. We define an enum type, and we're gonna get a value from enum type by the name. Let's see. The value is enum type direction, and direction. Let's get the name north. Let's see the value of dir. Yeah, here as we can see, the value is 0. It's like an index in the array. And we try the second one. Yeah, it's 1 because it's the second index. So let's try the final one. That's supposed to be 3. Yeah, so that's is in the order, like ascending order, starting from 0. And of course we can set a default value to enum. For instance, for south, we're gonna set a value like 5. So let's see, for the south, that's gonna be value 5, and east, that's gonna be value 6. And we can also set the a string value. For instance, for north, for the north value, for the name north, value is called north too. So let's X that out. As you can see on the console here, if we assign the a value to the name of enum, when we get the name, it's going to return the value that we have assigned to. Yeah, that's, and we can do assign the value with number and the value with string in the enum. Okay, next one we're gonna talk about is any type. Any type, basically all type in TypeScript we can think of is part of any type. So any type is, we can say that is on the top level, on very top level of TypeScript. It can be anything. Let's give you an example here. Let's say not sure what kind of type is this variable. Let's say any, or we can assign anything to it. Number, that's valid, and Boolean, yeah, that's valid. And then let's say not sure. Let's say let value equal to any type, and we can call a function in. We can call a function, for instance, any function like get name. That's still valid, although we don't have this function in this variable, but it's still valid in TypeScript because this is any type. Of course, it's gonna fail on when that compile to JS because it doesn't come with this function. So that's why it is warning here called crashed. And the next one we are going to talk about is called unknown type. Okay, unknown type is basically, it's like any type, but it's more safer. Let's give you an example. Unknown type, let's say value, let's say value 1 we're gonna give it a type called unknown. So it can be, we can assign any value to this unknown type. A number, that's good. Boolean is good too. Basically all type, we can assign any type, all different types to unknown type. Is all legal, it's all valid. So let's see another scenario for unknown type. If we get value, if we call a method in the value, we call a function. Okay, it doesn't, it shows a warning here because like we don't have any function in unknown type. As you can see, value 1 is unknown type, so we can't call a function in there. So compared to any, this is unknown type is more safer because TypeScript can check out the can tell there's an error in there. And let's give it another example of unknown type is, let's say value 2. Value 2 is unknown type. Then we can assign value 1 to value 2 because they are all same, they are all unknown type. And what if we assign the value 1 to any type? That's valid too. But if we assign unknown type to any other type, let's say value 4, let's say to Boolean, to value 1. Can you see that that's a warning? Unknown type is not assignable to type Boolean. But if, let's say, if we change that to any, then that's any type, that's gonna be valid. Any type can assign to the Boolean or string or any other type, but unknown type cannot do that. That's the difference between unknown type and any type. So unknown type is more safe. It's not safe to compare to any type. And okay, let's move on. Let's move on to next one is tuple type. We don't have tuple in JavaScript, but in TypeScript we have tuple. Tuple is basically like a fixed length of array. Let's give you an example. Let's say tuple, and then we're gonna give it a type, and let's say number and Boolean. So this variable tuple has length of 2. The first one is number, second one is Boolean. Let's assign the value in for tuple. Okay, that's valid. If we change this first one, it has to be number. If we change that to string, that's gonna be an error here. A string cannot assign to the number, so it has to be more specific. Like on first index, it has to be number. On second index, it has to be a Boolean. Let's change that back. Okay. Next one gonna be, next one we're gonna go for is void type. void type is for a function, it doesn't return anything. Let's say function, let's say my function. If we don't want to return anything, we can just say return a void, and instead for here we can get like just console log. That's how we use void. It's not returning anything. Like for instance, if we return return number, it's gonna be invalid because number is not assignable to void. That's void. Next one, gonna go for two other type in TypeScript. It's called non and undefined. We have non and undefined in JS. Non, let's say non. We have non value and undefined value. Undefined value in JS. Okay, that's for non and undefined in TypeScript. Okay, let's see. Okay, next see never type. Okay, let's see. Never type means never return anything. Okay, so if it's never gonna return anything, it's gonna be this function gonna return an error, or this function is never gonna end. Let's give you an example. Error. Oh no. Let's give you a error function, and that's gonna return never. So what we're gonna do, gonna throw error, throw new error. This is a error. Yeah, that's valid. Like or we can get a we call function return never, and this function never gonna end. We just say put the while loop in there. That's valid too. So what if we're gonna return something like anything? So that's invalid because number is not assigned to the type never. Okay, that's how we use never type in TypeScript. Hi guys, on this video we're gonna talk about assertion in TypeScript. My understanding of assertion is like when TypeScript defines something as a type, like type any, but if I know that better than TypeScript, I can force to change the type to any other type that I think it is. Let's just give you an example. That's assertion. So let's see, let's just give you an example. Some value that's gonna be any type, and this is a string. So at very beginning we declare this variable as any type, but of course we know this is a string type, so we're gonna force to change to string type. String value, let's say string value, let's say string length. That's gonna be a number, so with a bracket, so we can tell that's a string. Some value is string. So in a string there's a method. For the string there's a appropriate called length. So like we tell TypeScript, we kind of like forced to change the type from any to string. That's assertion, and it has different syntax. Let me just demo that. Syntax 2 is that's number. Okay, in the bracket we can force to change some value as string, and the string has length. Yeah, we can use either first one or second one to force to change the type in TypeScript. Let's say the one. A next assertion we talk about is not known assertion. Let's give you examples. My phone. So my function take a parameter, let's say maybe string. So it could be string type or undefined or none. So we're gonna declare a variable here, let's say only string. That's gonna be string type. Then we're gonna assign maybe string to only string. So that's a warning here, because maybe string, it could be undefined or none. Undefined or none, you can't assign that to string. That's the error here. So we can fix that by to add a exclamation mark here, because we know the parameter that passing to this function is definitely going to be string. It's not none. It definitely not be undefined or none. So we add the sign here to tell TypeScript that has value that is not undefined or none. So we can fix this problem by doing that. And the same as function. What if let's give you an example. What if the parameter is a function? What if the function could be undefined or none, right? So let's get an example here. We pass the function, let's say num1, num generator. Okay, let's say this is function, my function 1, function 2. As we can see, that's the error here. My generator is possibly undefined, because it could be undefined or this type. So if we know that better, what we can do is we can add the exclamation mark here to tell TypeScript is not going to be undefined. Yeah, and that's another scenario of assertion. Let me give you another scenario of assertion. Let's say here we declare variable here. We call this function, and we console log x. So as we can see, there's error here. The variable x is used before it's being assigned, because TypeScript doesn't know we already assigned the value to variable x. So that's the error here. So if that's the error, because we already know that we call this initial function before console log. So we assign the value to x before we use it. So if we TypeScript doesn't sense that, so we can fix the problem by adding exclamation mark here to tell TypeScript that's been signed before you use it. The value has been assigned to the x before we use it. Okay, that's it for assertion scenario in TypeScript. Hey guys, next one we're gonna talk about is called type guard. So type guard is basically that we set a condition to check the type. If condition return true, we're gonna run the code. If that's not, we're gonna run something else. So that's type guard. Let's give you an example. For the type guard, there's a couple keywords. The first one we're gonna talk about is keyword in. Let's give you an example here. Let's copy a code here. Okay, in this scenario is that we defined two interface, admin, employee, and on here in this function we pass the employee as a parameter and the parameter object. So we check is privilege in the is the key. If that privilege is a key in the employee emp here, if that's the condition, return true. So we're gonna run this code. So it means that we can get the value from this key, from this object. Same as next one, we check the start date. If the date, we check that if that's that name in the interface, if that's cool, and we can use that as a key. Okay, we check that with the keyword in, make sure that key is in the object before we can call that. Okay, our next keyword is called type of. Let's give you an example here. On type of, we have function called path left. We take the value as a type of string, and the second parameter as padding. The type is either string or number. So when we consume the padding, so we need to check the type of padding. If the type type of padding is number, so we're gonna do this. We're gonna run this block of code. And if that's a string, we're gonna do something else. If it's not, so basically it's just a condition on type checking. That's the keyword called type of. And another keyword is called instant. So gonna give you another example here. Okay, let's see here. We define an interface here. It has a function called get padding string function that return a string. So we define a class here, space repeating pattern, that implement pattern. So you also have the same function, same as this class string pattern. So we create an instance from this class, from space repeating pattern. We assign the instance to this variable. So before we actually use it, we're gonna check the instance. If pattern instance is it instance of space repeating pattern. If that's true, we're gonna run the code inside. If that's not, if we check that pattern is instance of string pattern, it's gonna be false because because pattern is pattern instance is like created by here by space repeating pattern. Okay, that's another keyword of in the type guarding called instance. And another one is we can define our custom type protection. Like I give you example, the custom. So if we get a function, we can name it is number. So number, it take anything. So we need to tell that x is number. So inside here we can do is we can return a boolean saying that to check type of. Okay, we can create custom function that to check the type. If type is type of x is number, it's gonna return true, or anything else, it's gonna return false. Yeah, that's it for type guarding. Hey guys, so next one we're gonna talk about is called union type or type alias. Okay, let's give you an example. Union type. So let's give you an example. Let's say it's a function, say hello, and that take a param. So for the param name, it could be a string or it could be undefined. So for the name, it could be string or undefined. So let's say for a string or undefined, it's got union type because it can be either one of them. Let's call this function say hello. We can pass the string, or we cannot pass string, we can pass undefined. Both of them are valid in TypeScript. And for type alias, we can do is, for instance, let's say greet message, let's say string or undefined. We can use a second name. We can use another name to replace that. We can use type message equal to this type. So message is an alias of a string type or message or undefined. Okay, we can do like that. Let's call the function. Let's greeting Michael or undefined. Yeah, it just use alias. It just make the code more clear. It's easy to read. Okay, that's union type and type alias. Hi, our next one we're going to talk about is insertion type. Insertion type basically is just two different types. We combine it together as a new type. We use ampersand symbol to join them together. Let's see the example here. Let's say type point x let's say number and I'll get point type y. So if we're gonna join them together, we can call them point xy. Point x ampersand sign to join them together, point y. So we have point x and a point y. Let's declare a variable. We're gonna point x on y. We're gonna assign a value x. Here that's intersection type. We join two different type together as a new type and call point x and y, and then we can assign a value here. Okay, let's see another scenario is what if they have like a type name conflicts. Let's see this example here. Okay, we have an interface X, interface Y, but both of them have name C. This name is conflicts. One is string type, another one is number. What's gonna be now then? Let's we join them together. We have a new type called x1y, xy, or yx. Okay, that's a problem. Let's see. Okay, we've got P here and a Q for the variable P. That's a warning on the name C. The C is type of number. It's not assigned to the type never. And here C is type of string. String is not assignable to type never. So basically that we can tell like if they are both conflicts, so it's gonna be string and the number. There's no kind of type called string and number together. So it return never. It's gonna be never type. Gonna be type never. Okay, that's the problem here. Okay, let's look at another scenario. In this scenario, it's same thing. We define the ABC interface, all of them having name X in there. That's gonna be conflicts too, like previous one. But in this scenario, when we assign the value to ABC, it has no warning here. It looks good, it looks fine here. Let's see if we can print out the value here. Yeah, it has no problem here. There's no errors. And we have value here. So that comes with the conclusion that if they have same name in the interface, like this, if the type is basic type, the basic type includes Boolean, string, number, array, tuple, etc. If they are basic type, they're gonna return never, because like you can't combine two basic type together. But if that's not a basic type, like here we have the name of X, the type is an interface. Interface is not a basic type, so they can join together. So the name X has the value, has the type of the combination of D, E, F. Okay, that's it for intersection type. Next one we're gonna talk about is a function in the TypeScript. Let's define a function. Get user ID, take two prompts, name and ID, return name and ID. Let's do that. And we need to define the type for params and string, and need to define the return type too. Yeah, that's how we define the type for params and define the type for return. We can also do optional params. Let's get example here. Let's say get user ID 1, and if the param is optional, we're gonna put that on the final place. Let's say number, and we're gonna add a question mark to tell it is the optional. And of course we can do that with the default value too. Let's say we have a name here, then we're gonna put a default value. Let's say, okay, that works too. We can have default value, we can have optional params. And the next one I want to show you is remaining params. Let's paste the code here. As you can see here, we have a function called push that take a array and the remaining params. So in that situation, we need to define the function param. Let's say here it's gonna be, we're gonna pass a variable empty. That's gonna be a number in there. So what we can do is we can define that as the number. Let's say that's a number, that's gonna be an array with the number in there. Same as for items. Example here. Yeah, that's how we define a type for this. Okay. Hi guys, on next one we're gonna talk about is interface in TypeScript. Basically, interface is just to describe the structure of the object. Let's take a look here. Let's define an interface called person. Person has name with the string type and the age with the number type. So we can declare a variable let's say P1. That's gonna be person type, and it has name Michael. Oops, his name Michael. As we can see, there's an error here because it defined name age, but it's missing the name age. So we can put the name age, a number. As you can see, that person interface, that is like a structure of this object. Okay, our next, the name inside the interface can be optional. Like if we add a question mark at the end of the age, and for the object, we can have that without age. It's still valid. Yeah. And the next one, and we can have any name in the interface. That we can do it like probe's name. It's gonna be string type, and the value gonna be any type. So what we can do is we can put gender. Gender can be, because that the key for the this object, it can be anything, because this is the string type key and the value is any. We can put multiple, like food, let's say food, let's say Indian food. That's still valid. Yeah, for if we have the name as string with this kind of grammar, we can put anything, we can add anything in the object. Hi, our next one we're gonna talk about is we're gonna compare difference between interface and the type alias. Okay, for interface and type alias, both of them we can use both of them to describe the structure of the object or function signature. Let's see an example. For interface, what we can do to describe a structure is interface. There's a point. The point has X and Y. And to describe function signature, we can do interface set point, and then that take two params X, Y, and the return could be void. That's how we describe object and the function use TypeScript, use interface. And for type alias, what we can do is we can define type point X, Y. We can do type, and for type alias to describe function, we can do type set point. That's gonna be two params then that return void. both of them interface or type alias. Both of them we can both use both of them to describe object and the function. And let's see some difference between them. We can use type. We can use type alias to describe some like primitive or union or tuple. Let's see. We can use type alias. Let's say my string as string. That's the alias for string, for type string. And for union, what we can do is type point union equal to what we can do is string or number. We can use alien to do tuple and data number and string. Okay, that's what we do. We define the type, use type alias. And next one is what we can do between interface and the type alias is to extend. Okay, let's say we're gonna do interface extend interface. How are we gonna do that? We're gonna define the interface. Let's say A, and as the name X type number. Okay, let's see. And it must be type D, but I think let's say A1, and we can use extend interface. Let's say another interface. Let's say A2, and does interface extend from A1, and with the name of Y and type of number. That's interface extend interface. So A2 has two names. One is X, the other one is Y. Okay, let's see next one. Type alias extend type alias. So what we can do is type, let's say T1, we have X number, type T2, we can do T1 equal to T1. We're gonna intersection. We're gonna have an intersection, which is this this sign. Then we're gonna have Y, as number. And for now, type T2 has name X and Y. Let's see next one. Interface extend type alias. For that, let's define a interface, and let's say A3 X we're gonna use an interface extend alias. No, actually we're gonna define the type first. Type, let's say T3. Then we're gonna have interface, let's say A3 extend let's say T3, and we're having a name of Y. Interface A3 extends T3 interface. Yes, we can see now A3 extend T3. T3 has name of X, and we have A3 has Y, so they combine together. And the next one we're gonna show is alias extend type alias extend interface. What we're gonna do is we're gonna define an interface. Let's say A4. And define a type. Let's say T5. Oh, let's say T4. And equal to A4. Gonna join them with this symbol and the Y equals name. And now T4 type has name of X and the name of Y. Okay, that's the to extend from interface to type alien and type alien to interface. And the next one we're gonna talk about is implement. It's like function implement interface of function implement type alias. Let's get an example here. Let's say interface. Let's say A5 has X. And Y. So we're gonna declare a function. We're gonna declare a class. Let's say some point with capital letter. So we're gonna implement A5. So we need to have property in the class, like for instance X and Y. That's valid, that's cool. If we don't put Y in there, that's a warning here. is missing, y is missing in. Okay. So we for that's implement an interface. Let's see a class implement a type alias. So we define a type t5 x and y. So same thing here. Some function, let's say 1 and t5 is same syntax compared to implement interface. If we don't put y in here, that's a warning saying y is missing. Okay. So for the class, we can implement interface under type. But there's another exception. Another exception is like if type is type, if it is like union type, so you cannot implement to the class. Let's give you example. Let's say type let's say union type. So union type gonna be x number and y number, and we try to implement this type. Some point, let's say 2, implement union type. Let's say x. Let's copy that. That's a warning here. A class can only implement object type or intersection of object type with the statistical known members. So for that is not valid. So we can change that to intersection. So that's cool. There's no warning. So another one I want to talk about is interface merging. Say if we have interface interface A6 has A as X as number, and another interface A6 and a Y. And if we join them together, no, actually they're gonna join them by themselves. So although we define two interface with same name, and it's gonna join them together automatically. So let's say my interface, let's say my point that's gonna be A6 that take x as a number, y as number 2. So they join them together automatically. Okay, next one we're gonna talk about is called class in a TypeScript. We're gonna declare a class. As we all know, in a class there is a function. There's a method called constructor. Constructor function gonna get called while we instantiate well, we instantiate the class. Let's give you an example. Let's say A1, new class. Okay, we instantiate a class called animal, and the constructor function is get called automatically, as you can see from here. We instantiate a class, then we assign to a variable called A1. This is the object now. So for constructor function can take values. Let's say name. The value type gonna be string. And then we take the value. This value can assign to property in the class. Property class and the value class, a value name. Property name and value name. We assign the value name to the property name here, and while we instantiate animal, we can pass a name here. Let's say Mike. And let's see if we can get the value name from this object. Name. Yeah, we get the value name. Apart from property, we can define methods in the class. Let's say a method called getName. This return this name. Let's see if we can call this method. A1 getName. Yeah, we can get the method. We can get a property and we can get a method. Okay. Next one I want to talk about class is called inheritance. Inheritance, basically, you can think of animal class is a base class. We can extend. We can extend animal class to get a new class, which gonna have all methods and property from animal class. Let's give you an example. Let's say we have a class called cat. We use keyword extend animal. Okay, we extend that from animal, and then we have constructor function that take name, and in here we're gonna have a word called super. You can think of super is from base class constructor. So base class constructor is a name, take a value name. Okay. So in cat class, we are going to have property name and property and the method get name. Let's check that out. Let's say C1 with and the newer cat. Let's say Ben. C1. Let's see if we get a property called name. yeah, we can get name, and we can get, we call the method. Yeah, they are all good. So cat has all property and methods from animal class. This is inheritance. Next one I want to talk about is some keyword in class. Let's say static. We have private. We have protected. We have public. So for keyword public, for the keyword public, if we put the public in front of property or methods, it makes no difference, because like if we don't write it public here, it's gonna be same. So normally we don't write public in front, unless you want it to be like very visible. And for static, let me just, for keyword static, let me just give an example. Let's say we put a static in front of this method get name, and then let's see if we can call. Okay, we put a static in front of method get name. We got a warning here. Property get name doesn't exist on the type anymore. It doesn't exist here because it's static. The static, it means that that's only available in the class, not in the object here. It's in the class. Okay, like if we change, okay, that's static. And next one I want to talk about is called private. Like if we're gonna put a keyword private in front of property name, so what's gonna happen here? For instance, we have new methods here. Let's say get cat name. We're going to return this name. Oops, you can see here a warning come out. Property name is private, only accessible within the class animal. So because this property name is private, it can only be accessible within an animal class like here. And so what if we put the protected keyword in front of that? So property here name is, it has keyword protected in front. So it's okay to access that now. Because this is protected, it means that whatever new classes extended from animal class, I can access this property. Okay, that's it for class keyword. Next one I want to talk about is called generic. Generic is basically, it's just a placeholder for the type. Like in some situations, like you don't know what type it's gonna be in the future, so you can use like generic in there, like as a placeholder to hold that place, and we're gonna use that in the future. Let me just give you an example. Let's say we define a function get array, and that's gonna be, let's define a function. Let's say get array. We're gonna pass array in here, but we don't know what kind of type array. It could be a number in an array, or it could be like string in an array. So let's say that for any for now, and that's gonna return a new array and concat with this array. Let's say that, and now we declare a variable. Let's say number array. Let's say get array. Let's pass array of number in there. And another one, we get string array. Let's get array here. So we pass string in there. And for now, if I want to push some value in there, like for instance, if I push let's say a string there, is still gonna be valid because it's the type in the array is any. We don't want this thing to be happen. We want it to be, if there's a number in the array, we want it to only accept number, and for string we only accept string. In this situation we can use generic. Let's show for generic. So it's a placeholder. We're gonna use a angle bracket. Let's say a placeholder, let's call it for t. We leave that right after function name, and we're gonna accept an array of this type. We're gonna call the type called t now. It could be number or string. We don't know that yet, and that's gonna return the same thing here. Okay, for this situation, as we got error here, as you can tell, number array is type of number array. So for number array, we can only pass number in there, and for string array, we can only pass string in there. If we pass different value, it's gonna be an error. As you can see, that's a warning sign here. Argument type number is not assignable to parameter of type string. Yeah, we can use generic in this situation, like for some of the type we're gonna use in the future, and we don't know that, we can use the placeholder. We can use the placeholder to define the type. That's it for TypeScript tutorial. Thank you for watching. If you guys like this video, please hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys on next video. Bye now.